Hello, welcome to my new home. I can't believe that we're actually here. We're in the house. This video has been in the process for a very long while now, a good few months, and I finally get to share it with you. Today's the day, so welcome. In this video, I'm going to be going over the whole process of me buying, plus the upfront costs and all the little things in between. So if you want to see how all of that goes, grab a snack and sit down because this is going to be a bit of a long one, but I really hope you enjoy. I want to preface this by saying I'm not qualified to be giving advice on any of this. This is just my story, how I did it, and everything that I went through to get here. Just want to make sure everyone's aware of that before we continue with the video. I want to start off first by talking about the process that I didn't actually film from the very start, which if I could go back, I would redo that all and start from the very first steps. But the first thing I did was contact a mortgage advisor. They're free and they help you get pre-approved. They basically just advise you on getting a mortgage. They help you get pre-approved. They discuss interest rates and all sorts of different stuff with you. So that's the first thing I did. So I had an initial meeting with my mortgage advisor. I then got given a link to my client portal where I had to put in so much different information about all my expenses. I had to put in my rent and utility costs, how much I spent on going to the doctors every year, how much I spent on gift giving every year. Like, they really go into detail, but it was so that we could figure out how much I could actually afford. I had to send through proof of residency, like proof of who I am, and then a KiwiSaver approval letter to say that I was eligible to take my KiwiSaver out. And then because I was using Kāinga Ora, which I'll get to shortly, I had to give them the last 12 months worth of my bank statement, which was pretty easy. I got, again, sent a link to do all that. I didn't have to go through and then send them every single one of mine. Like, it was auto-generated through this thing. I don't know, my mortgage advisor knew what she was doing. So that was the first few steps, was contacting her and getting all of those different things sent to her so that we could start on getting pre-approval. So unfortunately the first bank that I applied to for pre-approval has declined me. So we've gone to another bank, the bank that I actually bank with, and we're going to try to see if they will maybe pre-approve me. It was really hard too because with the other bank I was so close to getting pre-approval, but the criteria was just a bit too strict. So yes, we're going to try another bank and hopefully they approve. I don't know how banks work, but I'm hoping that it might appeal to them more because I am already a customer of theirs, so I already bank with them. I don't know if that's how it works. I'm hoping that this one will approve. I know that it's, in the end, it is going to be so worth it. Like, I'm going to have a house of my own. Who my age gets to say that. Like, I'm in a very privileged position to get to say that I am even in the position to be looking at buying a home, let alone the fact that very soon I'm going to be in my own home, paying my own mortgage. Like, that's insanity. I am very excited and I worked hard for this. I've been to 5 open homes now as well. I haven't taken you through them just because I love the home buying process. I love watching other people, but I don't feel comfortable myself filming in other people's homes because people still live there. Stuff is still around. There is so much that I want to take you along and show you, but I just want to protect my privacy and the privacy of my the people around me. I just want to keep everyone safe. So we're being a little bit paranoid, but I'd rather be paranoid than have someone show up at my door. You know, I can't wait to bring you along. I want to show you the whole house buying process because it's really hard to find like all the information that you need, and so I want to be able to help that and give that to you. I'm no mortgage advisor. I'm not going to be speaking on that. I want to take you along for all of it, and I want to show you what that's like, because for me this whole thing is kind of, I don't know what to expect because there are so many videos out there for what it's like buying a home in like America or the UK. Like, there's so many. For New Zealand there's not. So I want to be that person who can show you what it's like to buy a house in New Zealand, and bring you along for it, and also to like encourage other people and like make people aware that yes, you can buy a house at 19 like me if you so choose. If that is what you want to do, you can do it. There's a lot of help out there that people don't know about to try and get you into your first home. Yeah, the first bank did decline me, which wasn't too unexpected. I was kind of expecting it. I am a first home buyer, so it is a bit of a risk for lenders, especially when I've had I've never had any credit cards or anything. So when you look at my credit score, there's not much to it because I've never had any lending before. So obviously they don't know what it's going to be like, which is more of a risk to them. So it wasn't too unexpected. So we did then go and apply with the bank that I already bank with, and they accepted me, which was so amazing. I was so happy. I just got pre-approved. I've just been pre-approved. I just got pre-approved for a mortgage. I'm like freaking out. I just got pre-approved for a mortgage. I can buy a house. I'm like freaking out. I'm like shaking. I just got my conditional letter of approval. I just got a message that said, "Hi Alicia, great news. I have now received a conditional approval for lending." And she's given me my budget, and it's on like I'm gonna be a homeowner. I'm gonna have a house. I'm about to pop out and go get my groceries, but I quickly wanted to pop on here because I feel like me talking to you last night just wasn't as good as it could have been, because as you could tell, I was super excited. I have finally got pre-approved after waiting for about a month now. Yeah, it's all coming together and I've been pre-approved, and so now the fun begins. I get to go house hunting and looking at houses and just seeing what's around and out there in my budget. So I'm really excited. Tomorrow I'm actually going to look at a house. I wanted to look at two, but one of them doesn't have an open home, so not too sure about that, but I'm going to look at one tomorrow. I'm in no rush, so if this isn't the one, not a big deal, but it's really good to go and get a feel for what's out there in my budget and just to get to know. Oh, I can't wait. You are looking at the soon-to-be newest homeowner on the block. I still feel a little weird, like I don't feel like it's fully set yet that I have pre-approval and that I can do this now, because for so long I've been like, oh, I'll just wait until I get pre-approval. Like, I don't want to do anything until I've got pre-approval, because then I know what I can afford, I know what I'm looking at, like I know, and then I can also go in with better conditions when I put an offer in. But it doesn't feel real yet. Like, it hasn't hit me, and I don't think it will hit me until I'm signing that agreement and handing it in and putting my offer in and being like, here you go. It's a lot of money too. This is a lot of money the bank's just basically handing to me. I mean, I know I've done the work to get there, but still, they're like, here you go. Here's a couple $100,000. Mind blowing. It was such a big moment to me, because that was when I really realized, like, oh, like I can actually do this. This isn't a dream. Like, a bank is willing to lend me money to buy my first home. I can go out and buy my first home. And that was, oh, that was one of the most incredible moments, just sitting there and going, what? Like, it was a very surreal feeling. So I mentioned Kāinga Ora a few moments ago. So I used them to be able to get into my home as early as I did. I used the Kāinga Ora first home loan, which is where if you have as little as a 5% deposit, you can get into a house. You get the same interest rates as someone with a 20% deposit, and it's just helping first home buyers get into their home. There is an eligibility criteria that you do have to fit into. I'll link it below if you want to check it out, because it was genuinely, I would not have been able to get into my first home as early as I did without them. It would have taken me a lot longer. So I'm really grateful that that first home loan exists for people like me who want to get into the market early and want to have their own home. Now, after getting pre-approval back and having a really exciting moment, it was time to seriously start looking at houses, and I found the very first house that I wanted to go and put an offer on. I just got home from work and I'm like kind of freaking out right now. I am about to send over my conditions for the sale and purchase agreement so that that can get drawn up so that my offer can be presented to the seller. I'm like really nervous. I have it right here and it's sent. Okay, that's not the official offer going in. That's just my conditions. It's just asking for the agreement to be drawn up. But that's the first step. I can't believe I've actually got the ball rolling. I literally just answered the phone to the real estate agent with a bunny face mask on my face. So that's really great. I have the agreement here. And I'm about to go hand it in. I'm about to put an offer in on a freaking house. Oh my gosh, this lighting is so terrible, but I had to let you know what's up. I'm about to go hand it in. Now, unfortunately for me, that house was not the one for me. Well, that rhymed. It ended up going into a multi-offer situation. After not getting that house, I also did end up moving back home, which was a very weird feeling. Like, I love my family and my sisters, but it's definitely weird after living out of home for almost a year to be back living with them. But it definitely did help a lot. It helped with the saving and the planning and all that sort of stuff. So in the long run, it was a good decision. If you've been following along on TikTok, you will know about this next one that I'm about to tell you about. This next one was a cute little unit. It was a 2-bedroom house. The kitchen was like half renovated. They'd renovated one side but not the other. Fine, nothing I couldn't do later. It had new carpet. It was in a really good area. Went to the open home. I was the only one there. I thought, even better. This is great. So I decided to go ahead and put an offer on this one. I kind of talked to the agent about what offers they might be looking at, so I kind of had a ballpark idea of what they'd be expecting. So I went ahead and sent all my information through to the agent, and she went ahead and drew up an agreement, and my offer was presented to the sellers. I have the agreement here and I'm about to go scan it and hand it in. Whew, fingers crossed that it all goes well. I really want this one, so we'll see. What a day it has been. So I put in my offer this morning, as you will have seen. They agreed with all my conditions. They were happy with those, but they counter offered my offer by like 20k, which that's like crazy. I don't have an extra 20k. The offer that I put in was actually my absolute max. Like, I went in with everything that I had, every single dollar that I had. From the advice that I have been given, I'm going to sit on it for a few hours and then go back to them and say, no, this is my top dollar, you know. It's a rental property at the moment, but it's vacant, so they're currently losing income as it's sitting on the market, which it has been for a few months now. So I'm hoping that they accept it. Everyone I've talked to reckons that they're going to accept it if I go back in and say, no, this is all I have, because there is no one else interested. I am the only offer on this place and there is no other interested parties. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes, and I will keep you updated as always. It didn't take long to hear back from them actually. They were really quick at getting back to me. They had counter offered my offer by $20,000. To me, it's a lot of money, but honestly, I've had a lot of mixed opinions about it off of TikTok. Some people were saying that's not a lot of money, you should just do it. Other people were saying no, stick to your guns. So in the end, my offer did not get accepted. That whole thing it ended there. They wanted their money and I wasn't willing to spend that kind of money. I also couldn't spend that kind of money because it'd gone in at my top dollar. While I was on the phone with the agent, she was telling me about this house that had just come to market that day actually, and if I was interested, she wanted to take me through it, which I had actually seen the house earlier this morning. I was on Trade Me Property again, searching through, seeing what else there was, and in the little featured at the top it comes up with featured properties, and I saw this really cute little house. I didn't know that it was in my area at all. I just clicked on it. I wanted to see where it was. I was quite interested, and it was in my area, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. Started scrolling through the photos, really liked it. I scrolled down even more and it was in my price range, and that is, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so it was already on my radar and I already knew that I wanted to go see the property. So when the agent was telling me about it and she asked me if I wanted to go see it, I was immediately like, absolutely, I saw it this morning. It's a gorgeous property, it's super cute. So she went and took me to see that property, and lo and behold, it was a whole lot better than the one I had just put an offer on. I fell in love with this house. I'm lying in bed right now. I am just about to send over everything to the real estate agent so that I can put an offer on a house. I'm really hoping that this is the one, knock on wood. This will be my third offer, so hopefully it's third time's the charm. If this all goes well, I should hopefully be all moved in by next month. We are going to put the offer in tomorrow. So far there are no other offers on the property. There were 2 others at the open home this weekend, just been. So that is all good news, and we will see how it goes. I'm feeling quite nervous though, and I don't want to get my hopes up because, I'm sorry if you can hear my fans and they're really loud. I hope they're not too loud, but I don't know. I really don't want to get my hopes up because I got really excited with the last 2 offers I put in, and obviously they didn't end well. So I don't want to get my hopes up because I'm scared of falling in love with the property and not getting it. We shall see. Whew, I'm on my lunch break right now and I'm feeling so nervous right now. They're initialing it and then I'm initialing it, but I don't know if that means it's accepted or not, or if they're just initialing the changes that we had to make to the agreement. I'm just like waiting for a text back or a call back. Like, I don't know if I've got it or if I've not got it, you know? And I don't like the waiting game. I hate the waiting game. I want to know. I guess we'll find out. Today's the day though. Today's the day whether I get a yes or no answer on whether I am going to be a homeowner for this house or not. I have a good feeling about this one. I am like pretty freaking positive that this house is the house. No, I'm 100% positive that this is my house. Like, it just feels meant to be, and like everything about this house is perfect for me. So okay, we're just gonna be patient and wait, which is really hard. I don't like the waiting game, and I am so not patient right now, but it's okay. What will be will be. We'll find out soon enough. We'll know. Now, this property was a deadline sale, so I could have put in an offer earlier, but I decided to wait a little. The agent had advised me that because it had just come to market, to just let it sit in the market for a little bit before I jump into it. So I did. I waited a couple of days and then I decided to go ahead and put an offer in. So I sent all my conditions through to the agent. She drew up the agreement. We presented it to the sellers, who came back and they didn't say yes and they didn't say no. They just said that they wanted to wait until the deadline sale to make any decisions, to see if any other offers were going to come through. So I kind of knew that they might come back and say that because it was a deadline sale, so they'd want to see what other offers come forward. So I waited until the deadline sale, which was a really nerve-wracking process. My offer was accepted. I got the freaking house. They came back and counter-offered, but I was able to do it. I was able to match what they wanted, and I got it. I got the house. I'm gonna be a homeowner. I can't freaking believe it. I got the house. This is like, this feels crazy. Now the real stuff begins and I'm like, I got the house. Okay. That does not feel real that I got the house. That doesn't feel real. Now that my offer was accepted, this meant the real deal. Time was ticking. I had to get my LIM report, my builder's report, my valuation, and I had to hope and pray that all of those would come back okay. My valuation came back first. I just got the valuation back for my property and I'm like, it came back better than I thought it would. I'm buying a fucking house. I literally was just like screaming to my workmate because holy shit, that's the one thing that was like, if that went poorly, the bank wouldn't lend me the money. It came back better than what I'm paying for it. and then it was the builder's report, and that came back. There were a couple of minor things to be aware of, but it was just more maintenance things, which comes with owning a house anyway. So that was fine. I was super excited with that. The builder who did the inspection, he was so lovely. He actually called me. He sent through the report, and then he called me later that night to read through the report with me to make sure that like I understood everything in the report, what it all meant and that type of thing, which to me is great customer service, because as someone who's new to this whole process, who is not a builder, I have people in my family who will probably understand some of this stuff, but it's good to hear it from a qualified builder, and so to have him go over everything in the report and read it to me was so helpful, because then I was able to make a call myself. To me, everything was fine, it was all workable. And then lucky last was the LIM report, which that took the longest to come back, but I knew that that would be the one to take the longest to come back, because that comes from the council and they'll have so many to process all the time. That came through and that was all okay. There was nothing wrong, no risks. It was great. Oh, I also forgot, I did also have my KiwiSaver application that had to come back and be approved, which is different from getting your KiwiSaver approval letter, which I mentioned at the beginning. The application is when you're actually applying to take the money out. That all came through, that all got approved, and so then I got to go unconditional. Now I was so excited here because that meant that the sold sign was going up, and I couldn't believe it. The house was mine. As of 10 minutes ago, we are unconditional. I just got a message from just got a call from my lawyer. I literally just got home from work and she's like, guess what? As of 10 minutes ago, you're unconditional. And the house is mine! I'm freaking out. The house is mine. Okay, I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. We're unconditional. We are unconditional. The house is mine. There's I'm actually in disbelief. As of right now, the house is mine. Literally just pulled into the driveway and we've gone unconditional. The next day I went and got a little photo of the sold sign, and the agent brought me some flowers, and it was so lovely. I had a really good experience with the agent that I worked with. She was just super helpful and onto it all the time, and it's just, there are some really good agents out there, I promise you that. Now here's where the scary part comes in. Now that I was unconditional, it was all go from here. Now it was just waiting for settlement and the pre-settlement inspection to happen, and then I was getting the keys. The house was mine, settlement was happening, all the funds were going to be sent over, and I was going to have the house. Didn't go so smoothly. Now I was meant to be settling in 2 weeks, and I got a lovely email from my mortgage advisor to say that the bank could only see some of my funds. I am home on my lunch break right now, but oh my gosh, I have had the most stressful 24 hours. So as you know, we've gone unconditional on the house now, which is really, really exciting, and I move in 2 weeks tomorrow. Yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow. But yesterday I got an email from my mortgage advisor. Once I got that email, obviously I was freaking out. I was like, what the heck? Mind you, I've been waiting for an updated pre-approval letter because they made a mistake on the one that they sent me. So I was waiting for them to update it, and it had been 3 days and we still hadn't heard anything. So when I got the email from my mortgage advisor, I was expecting to open it up and see the updated letter, not that the bank couldn't see my deposit funds for the house. Mind you, if I don't have a deposit or enough of a deposit for the house, the bank won't lend me the money. I don't have that kind of money just in cash. I have to get a mortgage from the bank for this, and so if I don't have a deposit and they won't loan me the money, I'm kind of shit out of luck. I would be absolutely screwed. After getting that message, I immediately go and open up my bank app to see if the funds are in there, and I can see them clear as day. So I screenshot it, I send it back to my mortgage advisor, and I'm like, this is what I have, I can see the funds, and I give her a breakdown of exactly where the funds are coming from, like what's part KiwiSaver and what's my savings and that type of thing. Sent that all back to her, and then I didn't hear anything for the rest of the day. And I was freaking out. Didn't have a good time sleeping last night. I woke up so early this morning and I could not sleep because all I was thinking about was making sure that the bank could see my deposit funds. Like I was freaking out. I had texted my mortgage advisor last night to say, hi, would you be able to give me a call when you're free? I am just a little confused on the email you sent and feeling a bit stressed out. And then that's all. I didn't hear anything back from that, which is understandable. She has other clients and stuff, and what I will have sent she would have sent to the bank, so it is just a waiting game at that point. And then I get a text this morning that says, hi Alicia, apologies, we are all sorted now. I needed to tell you that story because I genuinely can't believe that happened. Like, I'm still shocked. Like, I literally almost crashed out over there because I'm so glad everything worked out there, but that was one of the most stressful things, to be unconditional and then to get an email to say that the bank couldn't see all of my funds. Really stressed me out. They'd already approved my finance and then they couldn't see the money, and that really scared me. But all was well in the end and all was fine. So then I had the pre-settlement inspection, which was planned to happen 3 days before settlement. So I'd woken up, gotten ready, and popped over to the house so that we could do the inspection before I went to work. We turn up at the house, unlock everything, there's no power, which is not good when you're trying to do a pre-settlement inspection. We tried everything. We went to the power box, the switch box, and nothing was working. It wasn't turning on. We went back and we discussed it with the sellers. Somewhere along the way, the power was turned off. I don't know by who, I don't know when, but that meant that we couldn't do the pre-settlement inspection. So now I had two options. I could either call up the power company and ask if they could move the connection day to the day before settlement, or we could do the pre-settlement inspection the morning of settlement, which is not ideal, but those were my two options. So obviously the first thing I did was get in contact with my power company, and I asked them if we could move the connection date to the day before settlement. Now unfortunately they couldn't do that. They said that the power would have to be connected the day I moved in, and I tried to explain the situation, but unfortunately they couldn't do it. So we had to do it the day of settlement, which was really stressful for me because if anything was wrong, there wasn't much we could do about it. I think my lawyer said the most we could do is potentially hold back some funds, but we had to settle that day, and that was really stressful. I was like 99% sure that nothing was going to be wrong, but there was still the chance that something could that we didn't know about. I was also really scared that maybe the power was connected and it was simply that there was something wrong with all the electricity or something for some reason. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because I do actually have my settlement vlog coming, so you'll be able to see all the insiders and see what happened and how it went from there. Now onto the juicy stuff, which I'm sure you have all been waiting to know: the costs. How much it cost me to buy my first home at 20. So my deposit, which was made up of both my KiwiSaver plus my own personal savings, was $30,000. My builder's report was $768.11. My limb report was $390.50. My valuation was $918, and I was very lucky I didn't actually have to pay for my lawyer's fees. That brings us to a grand total of $32,076.61. Now for everyone asking how I did save that $30,000, so I mentioned that was a mix of my KiwiSaver and my own personal savings. So I started working at the age of 16, and I've always had my KiwiSaver at 10%. I always knew that I wanted to own a home, and I always knew that you could use your KiwiSaver to be able to help you to get into your first home. So I knew that if I had that at 10% and that money was coming out before it even reached my bank account, I wouldn't even notice it, and so I wouldn't miss it. So I always had my KiwiSaver at 10%, which helped massively. So about $17,000 of that was from my KiwiSaver alone. Then I had my own savings, which was about $13,000. One thing that I really do think helped me get into my house earlier was the fact that when I got my first job, every week when I'd get paid, I would go and buy one thing for my house, whether that was a cheese grater or a spatula or a bedside table or just like anything. It could be small, it could be big. I brought an air fryer. I brought just one thing every week. Sometimes it would be more, but it was one thing every week is what I had to do. And I think that really helped because that meant that when I did move out, I didn't have to think about buying furniture or all these other little things because I already had them. I'd had them stored away in my bedroom closet or under my bed so that when I moved out, I wouldn't have to worry about any of it. Now that I have this house, I have everything. And I'm so grateful for that. But anyway, that's the process. That's how I bought my first home at 20. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed following along. And yeah, next week will be the settlement vlog, so watch out for that one if you're interested, and I will see you next week.